Welcome once again to the Reelback podcast, and we have a very, very special episode. So today, we have we're going to do a talk. We all just came from a screening of Detroit. So I'm Mike, and this is
Charles Woods.
And I'm Mitchell Chance.
okay. So I guess this is I wanted Mitch to be a part of it. I mean, we've had Mitch on once before, just a great. How would you describe your public speaking?
How would I describe
what do you do, just so people know who haven't seen your other videos?
Well, I specialize in mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial healing for Africans spread across all the diaspora. So everything I speak, everything I write is all rooted in creating and generating the healing that we need in every area of our lives. Most importantly, the way we think, the way we view ourselves, the way we view our race, our culture, our history, all of that. So
I thought it was really important to have you gentlemen talk. We just came from a screening of Detroit, and when I first saw it, I had a very strong visceral reaction, and I think a lot of the reviews and critics, all agree that you get a very strong reaction out of it. Now, we haven't had a chance to speak at all. Yeah. It's been a couple hours. We've been processing, and now we're gonna do this in two parts. We're gonna just give our basic reactions to the film, and then at a certain point, we're gonna do a spoiler. Then that'll be spoiler free. And then we're going to delve into the film in terms of decoding it and revealing some of the technology that exists. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So, I mean, who wants to go first in terms of reaction to Detroit?
Well, let me just say right quick, when you told me Mitch would be a part of this, I was excited because I've enjoyed his discussions on YouTube, and I was excited to meet him. And we were kicking it, and I know he probably said, "Where's this brother coming from?" But I was just throwing some things at Mitch, and the brother is heavy, and it's just so rewarding. And when I first saw what was put on RealTube with Mitch, I said, "This is a young brother that I am really impressed with."
I appreciate that. I was pleased to meet you also.
When we have these conversations, we do them in stages. Stage 1, witnesses. Stage 2, suspects.
What happened at the motel?
Turn that radio up.
What you gonna do?
Nice does, man. Thanks. We were performing earlier.
I'm performing.
He has lost control. Take a look at him now.
Police was there. There was a lot of shooting.
My reaction was just wow. Nothing has changed. That's just the way I looked at it. I knew about the uprisings, but I didn't know anything of the specifics of what happened in Algiers. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't spoil anything right now. So that was definitely informative to learn about that incident, but it just really shows the way that we've been treated and the way that we're still being treated today. And to me, I'm sort of tired of the films. I don't even know how to discuss this without spoiling it.
Well, I mean, your gut reaction, I mean, was oh, I'm sorry. All right, so your basic reaction, like if you were going to give this movie a review, what would your opinion be about the film? Should people go see this?
I don't really know how. I don't feel like it's a film that I like. It was like a really good film. It's definitely informed me of that incident, but I don't think it's like anything in there in the movie that, because I'm all about healing. Mm-hmm. It's no healing for me. Mm-hmm. So for what I do, it's not a movie I would recommend for that. But people go see movies for different reasons. So
I'd like to ask Mitch. Mitch, we discussed some films, 12 Years a Slave. I don't think we discussed Django, but I'm quite sure you probably saw Django.
Yes, I saw Django.
But I get the sense you feel the same way I feel. I don't know how Mike feels because, in anticipation of this broadcast, we wanted to make it as fresh for ideas from each other to bounce off. But I'll tell you what I'm sick of, the being inundated cinematically with films that just show us as victims. And that's all we get. We're victims, and we're supposed to sit and watch this stuff. And I'm tired of it. I have a movie in mind. It's called The Making of a Militant. It's part Death Wish and it's part Falling Down, where there's a scene in this film that got the most reaction from the audience we sat with, where you had a brother say, "Where is the justice? This is crap. This is all we're used to getting. Where's the justice?" So I want to see where is the reaction of the brothers who are constantly being shot down, killed, brutalized, and in a system where there's no justice for us. Where are we gonna riot, rebel, or whatever to get what we deserve and show people that they got to stop messing with us?
Definitely. And you know what? I always talk about the evolution of slavery, something that we really don't study enough to see how they're doing the same things in different ways to get the same results. So when I see these movies, again, showing us as the victims, when I see all of the black men get murdered on camera, and then it's on social media and it's everywhere being showed, and to me it's like a modern day lynching. It's like I want you to continually know what we will do to you. I want you to see the trauma. I want you to see the pain so you'll know, don't you rise up against us, you niggers. So to me, when I see these movies, the 12 Years a Slave, all of these movies that keep showing us as the victim, coupled with all of the murders on camera, the actual real murders that are on camera that are put in our face, them continually telling us about another black man being killed. It's like, why is that breaking news? Why is, and black men aren't the only people who are getting killed. Cops do kill some white folks too. Why don't they broadcast that? So when I think of it that way, it's like they want to continually show you, don't get out of line. So we're going to do it with the cinematography, and we're going to do it with reality to make sure you guys know you better not try anything.
Right. Well, all right, I'll give my reaction. So I've seen this twice now. I saw it about a week ago. And then I wanted you guys, I haven't had such a strong reaction to a black film since Soul Plane. This movie angered me. And I said, why, it's like burn Hollywood burn. I literally, like, one of my tweets was like, look, in the honor of the movie Detroit, this movie, I would just recommend everybody see this movie on a Fire Stick. Because one, I don't think we should be giving this movie our money. I think that I felt like the first time I saw it, I felt like there's a lot of talented people involved, both in front of and behind the scenes, to try and give this story credence. But the whole time I was watching it, I said, there's something suspicious about the agenda of this filmmaker. Because, and I don't know if it's the marketing campaign, the fact that it's called Detroit, and the initial trailers that we saw made it seem as if this is going to be about the rebellion, or when in fact it's about the Algiers motel incident, which we're going to get into. Like, I felt bamboozled and tricked into seeing this movie thinking that it's going to be a Black Lives Matter type movie, when in reality it is a snuff film, it is a horror film. The movie runs 2 hours and 20 minutes. For 40 minutes of the film, you see black people and white women held hostage, and we're being told that the director of the film is a white woman, so therefore it's sort of giving these people a pass to show the brutality of these white characters upon our flesh, upon our skin. It really frustrated me to no end, and it made, because it's an anti-Black Lives Matter film, really. If and you could make the argument that that's how it was in those times, and maybe when you come out of the film, you have the reflection that this is an ongoing struggle and nothing has changed, but at the same time, there have been other films that have done that. You bring up 12 Years a Slave. There's a sense of redemption in that film. At least that one person gets away to be able to tell the story of how brutal it was. These people were told to be quiet and shut up, not to give anything away. I feel like, and then, and this movie's causing a lot of debate. I noticed a lot of the sort of mainstream black cultural critics are championing this film as a very important A-plus Oscar caliber movie. I don't know what's going on with that. It really disturbs me, but they pointed me to an article by Touré where he didn't really review the film, in my opinion. He was saying, well, who gets to tell our story? Is this a black film? Even though the authorship is a white director and a white screenwriter, but he says, well, I think it is a black film because the POV is of black people. It's being told from a black perspective. I'm like, no, it's being told we're victims the entire time, and the majority of the film, the first time we were actually in seeing the movie where the camera's actually following somebody and their name, it's in the squad car, the police thing. So I think that if anything, this is a black film for white people, and we'll get into it, just like the character, at the end of the film comes a realization that he can't dance and perform for white people's entertainment. I feel like this is a movie that the budget, the whole existence of the story is completely justified by the fact that of white guilt, really. I'll leave it to you guys. Throwing some information at you.
Well, I think, in the spoiler part, I can speak on what I feel was the technology of this garbage. This is garbage, more garbage, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, are we ready for the breakdown?
I'm glad y'all all feel the same, because when I was like, it's not really a good movie. I didn't know how y'all was gonna feel about that, but y'all feel the same way. Like, yeah, I'm not excited about that movie at all.
This is some same old. All right, so just to wrap up the review part,
Go see Kidnap.
No, just watch this on a Fire Stick. In the true honor, you get the wordplay: fire, rebellion. Okay, so on a scale of 1, I mean, there's craftsmanship there. I think the movie the music. The music's good. The Roots do a good job. I just feel that on a certain level that I'm the last person to be conspiracy theorist. I mean, but learning from this man, I mean, it's all propaganda, and this is $30 million going to eradicate Black Lives Matter. It's going to erase the any kind of strides we felt from the Obama era, and I am starting to notice a trend, where the movies we did a whole thing on black film in the Obama age, where everything's part of a zeitgeist, and certain movies happen at certain times, and in some ways movies become more important than they actually are. Like, there's a whole zeitgeist that formed around Selma's release because of the timing hit right around Ferguson. And I think also we got that same spirit when people went to see Straight Outta Compton. They said, wow, okay, these were rappers that used their art to go against the system and say, fuck the police. And then Selma, it's like, wow, Jimmy Lee Johnson, he was the impetus for the whole march and protest on Selma, and that affected change. When I see this movie, I don't see the beginning of what all the tension that caused the riots. There's no perspective to that. Honestly, if you walk in late, you'd think you're watching Planet of the Apes, because they really darken everybody's skin. Everybody's angry for no reason. And the very first black character that speaks in the film is John Conyers, who they basically booed off the stage. They said, we want we want Stokely, you're an Uncle Tom. But he's basically saying, please don't burn down your property. He's really speaking for white folks and law and order, not having any understanding or justification of why people were built to the frustration where they wanted to see the whole city burned down. So Yeah, utter bullshit. What they say in Hollywood Shuffle, give this movie the finger. And honestly, when I walked out of the movie, I felt like Snoop Dogg. I was like, what? Katheryn Bigelow don't care about black people? You know what? Y'all don't love black people? What is this? What is this, Katheryn? All right, well, let it be known, Katheryn Bigelow. We're going to get down right now.
Mitch, I got something to say.
And talk about this movie, Detroit. So stay tuned.
I'm shocked. I'm going to call Mike a wet blanket.